Although Pride seems to be overrun by corporation, in reality it's a representation of queer activism, liberation, and revolution. The first cities to celebrate Pride in the way that you see today as of Pride parades were Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York. They had started Pride parades in 1970s and are officially the first cities to do it. Pride Month is the month of June. It commemorates the Stonewall riots. These riots were started in 1969 due to the unfair treatment of police officers on queer people, specifically at the Stonewall Inn, which was a bar and local hotspot for queer people at the time. A common myth for the Stonewall riot was that Marsha P. Johnson threw a brick at the police to start it off. But in fact, she threw a shot glass at a mirror in the bar as she was frustrated at the mistreatment of queer people.
Hey guys, I'm Nick Brenger. I'm one of your co-heads of GSM this year, and I'm here to talk to you kings, queens, and royals in between about Pride this year during quarantine. So because of our current status in, a global pandemic, we can't really get together as much as we could in past years during Pride. So what we can do now is FaceTime our friends, we can post on whatever social media we want to, and we can do anything to spread the love throughout the community, because that is the most important part of Pride. It's bringing together a whole community just so that we can feel supported. And to those who can't come out for some reason or another, or don't feel comfortable, just know that we stand with you and we love you, and we all want the best for y'all. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Madison, or Kazi, and that's it, loves. I love you very much.
Hi, I'm Madison Seda, and I'm another head of GSM. And I just want to say that, especially in light of the Black Lives Matter movement, it's really important now than ever to recognize the intersectionality that occurs within the LGBTQ+ community. It's also important to recognize how disproportionately affected by violence and other forms of discrimination Black, Indigenous, and people of color are within that community. In general, youth that are in the LGBTQ+ community are 7 times more likely to suffer from mental health conditions than those who are not in the community. 40% of trans people will have considered or even attempted suicide by the time that they're adults. And this is especially concerning since trans people make up less than 1% of the population. On top of the stigma associated with them for being in the LGBTQ+ community, Black, Indigenous, and other people of color need to face racism and other forms of discrimination on top of it. Even the LGBTQ+ community for a very long time just focused on white gay men, and that was the center of Pride. So much so that less popular parades needed to be created on top of the Pride parade in order to include Black trans women and other people of color. That's just one example of many instances of racism even in the community, which should be an accepting community for everyone in it. Let's continue to fight for LGBTQ+ rights and education in schools and with your friends and family to make it a more inclusive place for everyone. Thank you.